Great. Thank you, Jose Maria, for that great presentation and for opening these market focus sessions that we have today. So now we will move on to the next session. We will shift our focus to Central America right now because we will talk a little bit about, let me share my screen, about Guatemala. So for that sessions, we have our guest of honor. So we have Jennifer Lobos. Jennifer is a great partner of the IDB of Connect Americas, but she is also the trade commissioner at the Consulate General of Guatemala in New York. So Jennifer will be leading this session about the trends and all the opportunities that we can find in that specific market. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being here with us today. And now the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Luciano, for the great introduction. Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Jennifer Lobos. I'm from Guatemala, but I'm based in New York. And I am about to share with you a little bit more about the Guatemalan opportunities in the trade and commerce and any business that you're looking for. So I'm going to share my screen. In a minute, sorry. So
Just see it on presentation mode. It's perfect.
okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna give you a quick overview of what are we doing here in Guatemala. First of all, thank you very much everyone for being here. This is a little bit about a quick overview of why Guatemala, what would you be looking for Guatemala with to make business. First of all, we have young and qualified talent in Guatemala. Our average age it's 28 years old, so everyone is really developing technical skills and local currency, which is the quetzal. Um, Also, we have a strategic location. We have access to the both oceans, Pacific and Atlantic. We are really the heart of the Central American region, and we have access with free trade agreements to the main markets worldwide. Mexico, United States, European Union, and of course, Central America. We have renewable and reliable energy and competitive cost. We have a lot of renewable energy in Guatemala, so this gives us uh, the advantage to have lower costs in the energy sector. So if you're a company looking for expand operations worldwide and manufacturing other countries, Guatemala is one of the most low cost in this sector, in the energy sector. And we're gonna see a little bit later that we have a couple of opportunities right now specifically for this sector because we have an open tenders now in Guatemala. And also we have special regimes and tax incentives. We do not only have free trade zones, but we have a couple of more regimes that will be um, adjusting differently depending on the sector that you're in. So this is a why Guatemala. Then about our macroeconomic, we're the largest economy of the Central American region. Not many people know this. On 2024, we grew 3.7% on our GDP, and we have projected to growth in the next 5 years, approximately 3.8% average during this 5 years. Another interesting thing is that we have 2.06 in the emerging market bond index. This is the lowest of the Central American region, and this reflects our stability and the macroeconomics that we have. Also, we have rate risk at 2.5%. This is because the quetzal, which is our local currency, has been stable for more than 20 years. That's it's going around 7.73 quetzales for $1. Another thing is that we have international reserves in Guatemala that are the equivalent of 9 months of imports. So we have a lot of, usually the countries have from 3 to 6 months, and Guatemala has 9. And we have a predictable inflation around 2.4%. Last year we had 1.7%. So our inflation is really low, and it's because of this good policies that the local Bank of Guatemala have to have all this stability and liquidity for the state, so we can keep improving our stability and have a good macroeconomic environment. And as a result of everything that I have mentioned before, now we have been improving this uh, rate with these risk rate agencies around the world. Moody's, Standard and Poor's, and Fitch Ratings has been improving Guatemala's rate since 2020, and we're expecting to reach the investment rate maybe next year or the year after that. This is a little bit of an overview of the GDP, how it is composed in Guatemala. This is because we want to showcase how we are not only relying on one sector in Guatemala. And despite of everything, everyone thinks that Guatemala is still really focused in agriculture, and we are, but we are also focusing in other type of manufacturing industry. So number one, we have the vehicle trade and repair, which is 21% of our GDP. Second, 30%, 13% of the manufacturing industry. We're gonna see a little bit later on which manufacturing industries we have in Guatemala. Then we have 9% of agriculture, livestock, forestry, and fishing industry, 7% on real estate activities, 5% on construction. We are really developing a lot of infrastructure in Guatemala, so that's why these two sectors are really important right nowadays in Guatemala. Also, we have financial insurance activities. It's a 4% of our GDP. 4%, it's also education. We have also public administrations and defense, lodging and food service activities, and 27% of other industries. So we have a lot of diversification in our GDP. As I have told you before, we have 13% of our GDP is in the manufacturing industry sector, and we have a bunch of industries developing in this. First, we have oils and fats processing, which is a 7%. Then we have the cement, clay, and plaster manufacturing because of all this infrastructure that we're trying to develop in Guatemala. We also have the paper products manufacturing, which is also a 6%. Also, pharmaceutical manufacturing in Guatemala, which is 5%. This is a really strong industry in Guatemala, and we have a lot of foreign companies investing in this sector. We also have 4% of non-alcoholic beverages processing in Guatemala, 4.5% of poultry meat processing and preservation, then all 4.4% soap and detergent manufacture, and other 4.4% of manufacturing, repair, and installation of machinery. So now that we have seen all this structure and the sectors that we have in Guatemala, this has set up the basis to develop an investment attraction strategy. The Ministry of Economy have developed this strategy specifically. They are the leading institution for the investment attraction and the export sectors. And they all have also launched Pro Guatemala recently, just this year. So we really work together with the Ministry of Economy, Pro Guatemala, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is in charge of promoting Guatemala worldwide. But as I have mentioned, they developed this specific strategy, and we have set short term, medium term, and long term sectors that we want to attract to Guatemala. All the sectors that you can see in the short term strategy are already in Guatemala, and all of them are really strong, and we are exporting all this manufactured good worldwide, specifically to the US, Mexico, and Central American region. Then we have the medium term sectors that we have identified, which is health services, tourism, metal mechanics, electronic, which is auto parts, and shared services. We have some companies that are already investing in this sector, but we are really trying to reach companies for these sectors now because we already have this technical skills to develop, and we have a few companies that are already investing in these products. And for the long term sectors that we have identified, we are already working in development this technical skills and setting all the bases so these new sectors can come to Guatemala. These are really most more sophisticated sectors than that we have right now, which is biotechnology, medical devices and equipment, electronic components and equipment, and information technology for advanced manufacturing. In for developing all these technical skills, we are already working with other countries, for example, with Taiwan. We are working in developing this interchanging of knowledge, and we are learning about developing these skills. We have many engineers that have traveled to Taiwan to learn about these sectors, and we're going to be having more programs like this to develop this in Guatemala. So a little bit more about the competitive advantages of Guatemala as a country. First, I think an important thing to mention is that when you're thinking about Guatemala, you can think not only in one country, but on the whole Central American region. Why? Because we have preferential market to hold the Central American market. So we have free mobility of goods in this market. Guatemala has 15 trade agreements worldwide and 19 investment agreements. So we have also free trade agreement with the US, with Mexico. We have association agreement with the European Union, and we're in the process of implementing Peru and South Korea. And regarding the US, as you know, with all these tariffs that has been going on in the exports sector, Guatemala only has a 10%, and this has been since the beginning. So there hasn't been many changes as some other countries have had this, but Guatemala is really stable, and we're trying to renegotiate so this can be a lower. So I think Guatemala has a disadvantage. We have a lot of stability, and we have a really good relations with the U.S. government. So we are really optimistic about having a little bit lower tariffs coming in the next few months. Uh, what are we? Where are the places that we export? Mainly the things that we export goes to the Central American market, but this is because we have this free access to the whole Central American region. And an important thing is I know that is 36.8% going to Central America, but we do have many clusters that are so that the supply chain is integrated with the whole Central American and the rest of the country. So most of the goods that are going to be exported to the US from the rest of the Central American region are integrated with each other, you know. So then we have the 31% with the US goes to the United States, 7% going to the European Union, 5% going to Mexico, then another 9% that we export worldwide with not in free trade agreements, and another 9% with other free trade agreements that we have to Panama, South America, Asia, and other type of countries. During 2024, we exported 14.5 billion dollars. Mainly, the sectors that we export are mainly number one is apparel and textile. So if you have been had been using many of the brands of sportswear, you can see that many of them are made in Guatemala. We do a lot of big brands in there and private labels in Guatemala. Second, we are exporting bananas. Many of the big supply chain and supermarkets in the US have bananas from Guatemala. 6.27% has it's for coffee sector. We do it worldwide, mainly to the US, Canada, and Asia. We have edible fats and oils, it's which is 5.1%. Sugar, it's 5%. Plastic materials and manufacturers, 4.11%. Then 3.4% cardamom, 3% of pharmaceutical products. Then we have fresh, dry, and frozen fruit, which is 2.9%. And at last, we have paper and cardboard manufacturing, which is 2%. And in Guatemala, we have also been developing the services sector, and we are already exporting many of these services worldwide. Last year, it was $4.6 billion that we exported in services, mainly travel, professional consulting, and technical research, development, and other professional service. We also have communications, IT, computer data, and services, manufacturing services and physical inputs, maritime transportation, and other services. So, if you're in the services sector for Guatemala, this is also an important sector that we are trying to develop, and we have many technical capacities, and also we have a really good English language, and we also have a lot of another type of languages that we have specifically in the call centers and BPOs. We have Portuguese, German, but mainly English. And this is about a little bit about the cargo transport capacity of Guatemala in trade. As you can see, we have access to the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. We only have 400 kilometers between the two seaports. We have two international airports, nine domestic air trips, 12 custom ports, so we can have access to the Mexico and the rest of the Central American countries. And we also have three main ports in Guatemala, two in the Atlantic Ocean and one in the Pacific Ocean. And this is a little bit of the modal transport that we have in the total trade that we have. Mainly it goes maritime, then air, and the rest goes to land because we export most of the products to the Central American region. This is just a little bit of an example of the proximity to global markets in the times in sea transport. As you can see, Guatemala can have access to Miami in only 2 days, which is lower than the rest of the Central American region, to Rotterdam in Netherlands in 16 days, Los Angeles 11 days, Busan in South Korea 28 days, Mumbai in India for 54 days, sorry, and Manzanillo, Mexico, and 2 days, which is really lower than the rest of the Central American countries that we have. One of the other competitive advantages that we mentioned is the young talent that we have in Guatemala. We are really trying to develop more and more sophisticated skills. As I have mentioned, the average age of the Guatemalans is 28%. So all of these people is joining the work market. So you have a lot of options in there, not only in the Guatemala city, but in the whole country. We have 11.6 million people in working age population. We have say 6.7 millions, which are economically active population. And we have 750 um, people are joining this I graduating with this technical skill in Guatemala out of 100% inhabitants that we have. In Guatemala, we have something that it's called INTECAP, which is a public and private technical center. It has 29 centers in the whole Guatemalan country, not only in the city, but in the whole country. And INTECAP work with the companies. So if we don't have a specific program for training the people that are joining the specific sector that you want, we can develop the program for you. We did recently work with the Yasaki, which is a Japanese and American company that is developing this electric and electronic and automotive parts in Guatemala. And we work specifically together to develop the skills that we needed to have so they can open this facility in Guatemala. And they are going to be opening soon more facilities in the country. So this work really good with any sectors that it's looking for Guatemala to invest. We also have 15 universities located in Guatemala with more than 500,000 students enrolled every year. This is a little bit about the labor conditions that we have. We have three type of economic activities in Guatemala: agricultural, not agricultural, and exported, and maquila, which is the one for the apparel and textile sector. And we have two economic districts. First is the Department of Guatemala, and then we have for the rest of the countries. So you can see that there's a difference in the minimum wage. This is monthly wage, monthly salaries that we have. And we have also part-time work in Guatemala. So it depends on the necessities and the skills that you may need that you can use the part-time work in Guatemala too. Guatemala is also a Central America energy hub. We have a really low cost in energy. We have more than $10 million in private investment in these sectors. So we are really efficient. We have free market oriented legal framework. In 2022, we have 78% of the energy that we produce coming from renewable energy. We have a strong and technical institution. We have come from 44 to 88% to have access to electricity in the whole country. We are Central America. We have Central America's technical electricity infrastructure, and we have connections to all the Central American region. And we have another important thing that we have incentive for the energy sector. So if you have any electromobility projects or renewable energy projects, you can import many machinery to Guatemala duty-free access, so you can develop this type of products in Guatemala. We are really working in having this more clean energy in Guatemala. Um, and why? First of all, because it gives us stability for the companies that are in Guatemala, and second, because we really want to develop this renewable energy. So during 2024, 53% of the energy comes from renewable resources, and this is our electric metrics. Mainly comes from water resources, but we also have biomass, wind power, geothermal, gas, solar, biogas, carbon, petroleum, bunker, diesel, and we also import a little bit of energy. In Guatemala, we also have this large users figure, which is for the companies that are really big and they consume more than 100 kilowatts per month. So if you're one of the large users, you can negotiate with private suppliers so you can have a better price than the rest of the regulated users that are a little bit small. So I told you that we have a couple of tenders open in Guatemala. First, we have the PEG 5, which is a generation expansion tender. We are contracting up than 1,400 megawatts for firm capacity, and this may be begin to supply from 2030 to 2033. And the contracts that we are looking to have have duration that for more than 15 years. So this is an open tender that is going on right now. I'm just giving you the idea that we are submitting right now. We have the deadline in on October 10 to submit all the requests for the bidding terms. So if you're in the energy sector and you're interested in having more information about this, I'm gonna give you my contact information later on so you can have this information. And then we also have an electric power transmission system tender to expand all this energy power into the rest of the Guatemala. So we're trying to develop more infrastructure in this energy sector as well. And we are also starting all this bidding process on October. So as I have told you, you can reach me out later on so we can see this specific tenders uh, in details later. So I have mentioned in Guatemala we have three special regimes. First, we have the law for the promotion and development of export maquila and activities. This is mainly for the apparel and textile sector, and also it works for the services sector. And we also have the free zones and the specific development economic, as public specific economic development zones. What's the main difference between these? The first that I have mentioned for the apparel and textile and services, you qualify not a physical space that you're going to be in, you qualify the economic activity of your company. So if you're a call center, for example, you can be set in one floor in an office building, and you can have the call center in that specific area, or you can provide services in there, and you can have all these incentives for your company. And we also have the free zones and the specific and the public special economic development zones, which I'll call this ADEPS. These work pretty much alike, but depending on the sector or the industry that you're in, we can give you all the guidelines that it's gonna give you the idea which is better for your specific sector. What are the incentives in this special regimes? We have exemption of income tax, also value-added tax and import duties that you have suspension on or exemption on your input depending on the special regime that you will be having. And we also have value-added tax and import tariff duties that you're gonna have on machinery. This is a little bit about the companies that are already investing in Guatemala. We have companies coming from Japan, United States, India, European Union, Central America, and also from Colombia and South America. Uh, we have many that are working in, for example, as I have mentioned, Yasaki. This is an automotive company. Milicom, which is services. PepsiCo, which is in the beverage sector. Teleperformance, which is a call centers. Nextel, which is an European company that comes from the Spain. So we are really having a lot of companies worldwide that are already investing in Guatemala. So this is a little bit of what we're doing. This is my contact information. In case you need anything else, I'm sure that we can set up a specific meeting in case that you need more information about a specific sector. So this is a little bit about Guatemala also. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for that impressive presentation that gave us a clear understanding of everything that you're doing, the benefits, the incentive that the country have for US firms that are ready to invest in our region. So I really appreciate all the information that you share with all of us.